What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about body mics. Now these are more commonly referred to as lavaliere mics, or lav mic for short. Now a lav mic is a mic that you place directly on an actor's body. Traditionally the mic will be taped or adhered to the actor's chest or up near their throat, anywhere close to the mouth, to try to get more usable audio. And this mic is then fed into a transmitter or body pack that is clipped onto the actor at the waist. In my experience, these are primarily used as backup audio in case if your overhead boom mic fails, or when you have a really extreme wide shot and you can't get the boom in there without having the boom in shot. Having an actor wear a mic to pick them up is, best practice. But nowadays, with software trickery and how technology has really progressed, you can even have a boom in frame over the actor and just mask it out in post. And it's amazing what some of these, technicians and engineers can do in post to get rid of things that you don't want in the shot that were in the shot when it was filmed. It's nuts, but that's a lot of work, a lot of extra work, and anything you can do to avoid that at all costs you'll thank yourself. Now, as with everything, there are pros and cons to using a lav mic. The first pro, it's more affordable. It's more affordable than most shotgun or cardioid condenser mics on the market that are worth their salt. It's significantly cheaper. Also a lot more compact. The mic in the transmitter is like the size of one fist. It's insane. So if you're looking for compactability, portability, then this might be the best option for you. And the biggest advantage I can think of with this mic is it That's my nephew, sorry. The biggest advantage I can think of for using this mic is it gives the voice more presence while cutting down on reverb, which is more commonly known as room echo. Now on to the cons. And in my opinion, these kind of outweigh the pros, which is why I use this primarily as a backup mic. First and foremost, inferior sound quality. You can't really knock lav mics for this too much because the capsule, it's like the size, smaller than my pinky nail. It's a dinky little capsule. So you can't expect, magic out of a capsule that small. It's going to sound muffled, like I've said many times, which is where, post-processing know-how, EQ comes into play. The second con is there's significantly less RF protection. Now, if you don't know what RF protection is, it's most high-end mic cables are coated so they block out interference, the buzzing, the hum, the hiss, anything that could come in and kind of interfere with the mic signal that you want to preserve. Cheaper lav mics don't have any. This one has some. Now this varies from location to location. Sometimes you won't have to worry about it. Other times you'll be like, wow, this isn't even usable audio, because all you're going to hear is bzzz, and it's just atrocious. And last but certainly not least, the worst thing about using a lav mic is they are susceptible to clothing rustle. When you move around, you move your body, you can hear it, right? I can hear it in my headphones. It's awful. As long as you're not making extraneous gestures like, something Jim Carrey would do, it's not going to be as bad. You will hear it, but it won't be as exaggerated as I'm making it right now. Now, there are certain ways you can combat this. You can maybe even get rid of it completely, and we're going to go over that towards the end of the video. Now, this is a mic you can get kind of creative with. Say you don't want to put it on an actor's body, you want to possibly maybe mic multiple actors. You can use this as what they call a plant mic. This is when you put a mic in the shot, but it's still hidden and not on an actor's body, and it's picking up more of the surrounding area as well as multiple actors. It's a technique used in Hollywood a lot, and you can get surprisingly good results if you know what you're doing and you place it in the right spot. Deity made a great video on this, so I'm going to link that in the description below and you can go check that out. Now, up until this point, you've been hearing this mic in my studio, which is treated and it has a lot of soft surfaces. But I want to give you a couple sound samples in a more live room, like a dining room where you might be filming a narrative scene, and outside. So we're going to go do a couple of those tests, and then we're going to come back into the studio. And this is what the lav mic sounds like in a more live room. We're in the dining room. This is a room that you typically shoot a narrative scene in. And as you can tell, there's much more reverb in here, a lot more echo. But the cool thing about a lav mic is it tricks you. It's kind of like an illusion. Yes, there's more reverb, and the mic is omnidirectional, meaning it's picking up in all directions, but it's also closer to your mouth, so it's kind of canceling that out, if that makes any sense. But anyway, that's how it would sound in a more live room. Now let's head outside and see how the mic sounds out there. And this is how the mic sounds outside. Now, as you can hear, there's no reverb because there's no walls, floors, ceiling for the sound waves to bounce off of back into the mic. It actually should sound pretty flat. Now, the cool thing about being outdoors is you don't have to get rid of that annoying reverb or echo in post. But to bring more life to the recording, you can actually add in some reverb or a slap delay after the fact to give the recording more life. That's a little trick I use. But the con about being outside is that it's very windy today, and that's probably all you hear. I don't know if it's overloading the capsule. I haven't heard it yet. That's why I'm still wearing my headphones. But I can't imagine it sounds that good. But, you know, what are you going to do? That's one of the reasons why I primarily use this as backup and not primary audio. So let's head back into the studio. Now, as you saw, the mic sounds great in pretty much every scenario. It's just, it all comes back to knowing how to use this mic, how to place it properly, how to post-process adequately, and just practicing in different environments so you're ready for whatever situation you might be in when filming. Now, I chose this particular lav mic after doing thorough research, and people primarily only had good things to say about it. It's a favorite amongst indie filmmakers for good reason. It's relatively cheap, it provides pretty good audio, not magnificent and not absolute crap audio, but, you know, middle-of-the-road audio. And it has pretty low inherent self-noise, meaning the noise generated by the mic itself is relatively low, so you don't have to do too much to it to make it sound good. And finally, what you'll need to know when choosing to purchase this mic and, you know, how to use it. You're going to have to know good mic placement, where to place this on an actor to try to avoid the most clothing rustle, to not overload the mic, and, you know, what have you. You will need to know how to EQ for this mic. You might get away with not having to EQ a shotgun mic or a cardioid condenser mic. You will need to know how to EQ this mic, or it's just going to sound like garbage. So, luckily I've made a video on that. I'll link it down below. And last but not least, you will need some type of noise reduction software. The one I use is Isotope RX Elements. It's fantastic. It's relatively cheap. It's about $100, but you get the denoiser, declipper, dehum, and what's the other one? I always forget the other one. Anyway, all you'll have to worry about is the declick and the denoise, and you'll be all set. That's all you need. And $100 for award-winning industry standard software is relatively cheap in my opinion. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on this mic, guys. I like it. I'm going to hold on to it. It's a favorite amongst many filmmakers for very good reason, and I think you'll love it too. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, love you, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.